Just some kind of way. So yeah.
Awesome. Okay, well let's keep this ball rolling. Okay.
Sure.
My name is Abina Johnson, and this is Focus on Liberia. Hit it! From Cape Mount to Cape Palmer, Mount Nimba to Atlantic Ocean, Obomi Hills to Pokondre, to educate, elevate, and promote. Focus on Liberia. For Liberia. For Liberia, yeah. From Monday to Sunday. From Monday to Sunday. It's focus on Liberia. Talk about home affairs. Hey. In diaspora. Current affairs. Relying on information. History. Talking about culture. Politics. Education. Entertainment.
At Focus on Liberia, we discuss everything Liberia, from education to politics, arts and culture, entertainment, agriculture, history, religion, family, and technology. Focus on Liberia uncovers and showcases the best of Liberia and shows the world the truth about Liberia. We educate, elevate, and promote all things Liberia. We conduct interviews, panel discussions, debates, and more. Tune in to Focus on Liberia on Facebook and YouTube and be a part of the stories that make up the news.
This is Focus on Liberia. And
Good morning. Welcome to Focus on Liberia. This is Saturday, August 9th, and we are in collaboration with Kear Radio. This morning, FM 95.9 in Monrovia, Liberia. Today, we have a really good show for you. We're going to be discussing some of the current issues in Liberia. We will be talking about the revelations made by, I guess I can now say, former sedition Senator Sir Joseph, as well as former Representative Akaris Gray. We will also be talking about the recent rally against drugs that was held in Liberia and their meeting with the president, and where is that going to go? And then finally, we will be talking about this much talk, or should I say a whisper, concerning Liberia accepting deportees from the U.S. Is that even feasible? Is that something we should even consider? So those are our topics today. We have our gentlemen that have joined us for us to have a very spirited debate. I want to encourage you, stay by your radios, and if you are on the internet, Facebook, YouTube, please share the show, and let's keep this ball rolling. First, I'm going to go through and introduce our panelists that have joined us. Dr. Clarence Pearson, how are you this morning, Doc?
Good morning, Mr. Palmer. It's a pleasure being on the show tonight, and to our listening audience in the radio lane Liberia and on the social media space. Dr. Budi, Mr. Cannon, James, hi to all of you in studio there.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right. And then we also have, we got plenty of data on today. But what off here of what Dr. Fidel City Budi, how are you this afternoon?
The thing I like about you, Michael, is you're a very smart man. And, you started with this morning. So I was about to chastise you to say that James in Liberia, Thomas in, I think it's Addis Ababa, and I in the UK is afternoon for us, right? So you need to show us some respect as well. But no, it's great to be here. Tom, it's good to see you. It's been a while since we've been on a show together. So I'm looking again to listen to your brilliant economic analysis on issues as it pertains to our country, Liberia. And James, good to be with you again, as we were on Thursday. I hope it's not raining or cloudy as it was, you said, on Thursday in Liberia. Maybe the sun is shining today. And Dr. Pearson, my neo-progressive comrade, nice again to be here. Unfortunately, I'm not here for long. I'll be leaving you guys in about 40 minutes. But I'll try and do my best before I leave.
Awesome. Well, make sure you do that. We'll hold you to that, indeed. All right, and then we'll have, of course, Thomas Kane. How are you this afternoon, Thomas?
I'm doing very well. How are you guys doing?
We trying, Ochi. We trying small, man. What to do? We're here to discuss Liberia. Sometimes it can be a tasking effort, but we won't relent. Awesome. Of course,
sometimes
we have.
You just want to,
Go right ahead.
Sometimes you just want to forget about it and focus on looking for your daily bread, right?
Sometimes it happen in the evening.
People can't do the same thing that you're talking.
Usually it can happen in the evening. In the evening, you can sit down for long. So, let me just
but it's good to be there. So since that body will be leaving. Oh yeah.
Indeed. Okay, gentlemen. All right. So
let's should answer all of the questions at the beginning. When you go, then we'll talk over.
Yeah, I'll wait for Dr. Budi to leave. Then I will tell my own. All right. So I want to welcome our Kear Radio family and to the broadcast here. To all of you here around Monrovia and around the different counties. As you know, Kear Radio broadcast not just in Monrovia, but to full blast Liberia. So to Liberians all over Liberia, from the length and breadth, I want to say welcome. Please stay tuned there, and eventually we will go to the lines and bring you in and to hear your views, because really that's for me, that's the most important part. All right, so gentlemen, heated conversation yesterday, exchange between the seditions, Senator Sir Joseph and former Representative Akaras Gray. There were a lot of revelations made, a lot of revelations on perceived corruption that robbed the Liberian people of lot of opportunities. So I'm going to start with Dr. Pearson. Dr. Pearson, are we supposed to take anything out of this, or is this just political banter and mudslinging?
Thank you, Mr. Partner. It's a pleasure having to be a part of this conversation this morning. Let me just say up front, I'm one of those who have had a lot of respect for Senator Sir Joseph, especially his role in some of the major crises we've had, especially with the Ebola and other areas. He contributed a lot, immensely. I do understand that his relationship with CDC brought him to prominence in terms of his political achievement, and he's on record of making those comments before my very self and others before. So when I sat back and saw him on the social media on a call making some strong allegations against his former political affiliate, the CDC, I think he put a dent in how much I respect him. I should say that up front. I'm not one of those who proud in people who milk a cow to death when the cow is about to die and say, "Oh, the cow milk is stink." I don't buy that kind of a political gimmicks and politics. But having said that, I would say that if anyone, for that matter, who is in our political space, come up and give us revelations about how they plunder our country, including the very Sir Joseph himself, who was part of the plunder, it provides room for us to want to look behind those allegations and see whether they are facts, provided that we are able to get rid of the political scheming that will want to be used to bring him to some prominence with the launch of his new political party. That aside, yeah, I would like to know if there's any meat towards to what he those revelations he made. Yeah, I would like to know.
Dr. Pearson, you said something. I want to come back on it for a second before I go over to Dr. Booty here. You said you mentioned, and this has become a contentious statement. Who made Sir Joseph? Did Sir Joseph make Sir Joseph, or did CDC make Sir Joseph? What is your take?
It depends on which version of Sir Joseph you want to.
Senator Sir Joseph, the politician.
The Sir Joseph, the politician, was brought to prominence by George Manawia's popularity with the CDC, and that is true for a lot of our friends in Liberia who gained political stimulants out of drawing George Weah into politics.
Okay, all right, clear cut. Dr. Booty. So I mean, there's a common saying, you know, those who sin with you will eventually sin against you. And now we have all these revelations, people demanding money before concessions can be signed, which is straight up criminal. And the Honorable Senator Sir Joseph sitting on this for years, which is too criminal. Should we be surprised if the LACC opens an investigation? Are you calling for an investigation, or do you think there is something that should die with the friendship of Akaras Gray and Sir Joseph?
Well, first of all, I can see my brother Thomas is preparing himself, because I can tell from the facial expression how he would address that question when he gets a turn. Look, listen. I think Dr. Pearson started the conversation very well. It is, for me, a shame that we continue to do these same things in our country, right? Every time we've had a change in government, when one party has handed over to another party, many of the stalwarts from the party that has gone out of power start to juxtapose themselves to be aligned with the current political establishment. Again, we saw recently with Sereno Cephas, he came out and said whatever he said, and we've seen with other people before him, when George Weah was President George Weah was in power, the same thing with the Unity Party. Some of them started to juxtapose to get close to the CDC. And similarly, when President Sirleaf won election, like 2011, for example, we know that Eugene Nangbe and other people kind of again. And it's not new. It's not a new thing, but it's painful for some of us, right? Those of us who want to see Liberia become better. You need a strong opposition in any country. I live in the United Kingdom, and one of the strengths of the democracy, the parliamentary democracy here, is the opposition. So basically in the UK, the ruling party will have members of their party who are in government, and the opposition party, the major opposition party, will have a shadow government. So if you have a Secretary of State, there's a shadow Secretary of State. If you have Foreign Secretary, there's a shadow Foreign Secretary. So every time this Foreign Secretary says something that is nonsensical, the shadow Secretary will come and say, hey, that's nonsense you talk, and challenge this person. It is important for us to have an opposition or a group of people in the opposition who can hold the government responsible, whose job it is to advocate for the Liberian people. But every time, my brother, because these guys are so bent on living off the government and people of Liberia, they only know how to make a living from stealing from the people of Liberia. They always want to be in government. That's why you cannot have a strong opposition. That's why if a George Weah decides that he's not going to run, the CDC will become dead, because there's no one else, or there isn't a group of individuals in the CDC that believes in the mandate of the CDC. What these guys are demonstrating is that, look, they didn't care about the mandate of the CDC. They don't uphold that mandate of the CDC. They went into it because they realized that George Weah was popular. They could get into political office because of him. They got into political office. They don't see his popularity as a threat anymore because they believe it's waning. And so they're now taking shots at him when these guys were in government at the time. Look, Senator Sir Joseph could have come out and said, look, we're going to investigate A, B, C, and D for taking kickbacks before they approve any concession. We know that Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, we shouldn't go too far. I don't know which organization found about 63 out of 70 whatever concessions in our country were all fraudulently signed, right? So this is something that's been ongoing. I don't care really about how long he started on it and whether he should have said this thing earlier, whatever. It's just a shame that the Liberian people are always left to fight for themselves, because the opposition that should be fighting for them only care about how they can get back into government. And if they believe that sucking up to Joseph Boakai will get them government jobs, that's exactly what these guys are doing. And unfortunately, our people are just left to myself, to Thomas, to you, and to Dr. Piercy to come on here and strain our veins on our necks all day, trying to get the government to listen to us, when the people on the ground who have the political power to do it only care about lining up their own pockets. It is clear that there is no difference between politicians in Liberia at this moment in time. All of them do exactly the same thing. You're on mute.
Dr. Budi, should the LACC open an investigation immediately into the things that were revealed?
My brother, the question, that's a good question in a much better society, right? When you talk about Liberia, you kind of Google question and there's no need to ask it, because what will come out of it? Yeah? These people have been doing it different Ellington. The people who are in government now started this process of taking kickbacks, right? We had Big Ball 1 and Big Ball 2 and all those kind of things around a few years ago. What came out of it? Those same individuals are now in government. They're senators, they're representatives, they're ministers. So what do you think will come out of an LACC investigation? No, let me throw that question back. What do you think will come out of an LACC investigation? Why should we waste our time?
Thank you so much, Dr. Budi. Thank you so much. Thomas, I'm sure you've listened to the different clips of what was said, and the different accusations that were thrown back and forth between the two leaders in our country today. What do you make of it? And do you think that Yomli Kanga Lawrence should open an investigation in the Senate on her colleague, Senator Sir Joseph?
Thank you very much. So to me, what is happening is just a validation, right? So if you've been following things in terms of reports that are being made on Liberia, what Senator Sir Joseph said, it just validates previous reports that came out. I think it was in 2022 or 2023, the U.S., I think, State Department report on the investment climate in Liberia clearly stated exactly what he said, that when people go to Liberia to go and invest, there are government officials that are asking them for kickback. And that made the investment climate very difficult in Liberia. So that's why for 6 years when CDC was in power, you really never saw any major investment taking place in Liberia. For those ones that could easily go through, they all have problems. They could not even complete the renegotiation of the Metasti contract. They started the HPS thing. HPS gave them 30 million, they put it in the budget, and that brought some sanctions and all of that. So to me, it doesn't really surprise me. The only additional thing opposed to it, like I said, is that it's validating what these different stakeholders were saying over the past 6 years, that people were having difficulties in investing in Liberia. Part of the thing the report even said was that to even have access, for people to have had access to government officials then was extremely difficult. To even set up meetings with them and have conversations with them was difficult. So to me, the thing that Senator Joseph said and the reaction coming from Honorable Gray is just something that doesn't surprise me. Like I said, it's just validating. But the point I want to raise is these are economic issues, right?
Yes.
If you stop an investment from coming into the country, you stop the country from creating jobs. You stop the country from increasing its GDP. You stop the country from providing social services. So out of an investment of, let's say, 500, 1, 2, 3, 4 persons say, give us 10 million. So it's like someone is taking their money to invest in your country, and you are saying, bribe me first before you can invest in my country. So that strangulates everything. And in the end, that was the result that came because the people were so hungry and they were jobless. And in the end, they had to get them out of power. So it really doesn't surprise me.
Mr. Karen, do you think that is going on today as we speak?
I do think, but I think it's...
Do you think access to the president is being sold?
I cannot say for sure whether access to the president is being sold, but I do know that there are deals that are being crossed when it comes to these concessions and everything happening in the country. What I can say to you is that I do think that the scale of it has reduced. Okay. The way it was looking under President Weir, when everyone was just outrageous, going out and doing anything that they wanted to do, I think there's a bit of a change. There's a bit of a maturity that has come into governance. And therefore, those things we have scaled down. And you can even look at the volume of investment that people are negotiating across different sectors. That I can say to you. But I wanted to close on the issue of Senator Joseph and CDC. I listened to Dr. Pearson, right? Mm-hmm. If you look at CDC between 2005 and 2017, when they got into power, in 2005, everyone went to CDC. Once Judge Weir put your hand up, you eventually win a position. Yeah. By 2011, when Sir Joseph came on the CDC ticket, at that point in time, it was people who had a bit of capital that were getting on the CDC ticket. You had to be able to pay for it. I think it was around 10,000 or something that people had to pay to get on that ticket. Mm-hmm. And there are stories that Senator Joseph already had a school in his district and he was providing services and all of that. That's how the CDC actually went for him. So I just wanted to say there's a bit of a nuance there in terms of who actually made their friend or who went for their friend to be able to have that marriage that they have had for a couple of years now.
So you think it was a shared contribution, and Sir Joseph can rightfully claim that at least even if he made a whole set, he made half of his set?
I mean, he was already somebody before CDC went for him. That's what I'm saying. You
think he could have won against CDC in that district? Against somebody, if Joey had put somebody else's hand up and said that the person had won, do you think he could have won against that person?
What I'm saying is that by 2011, George Weah was really, really broke. He was looking for, you had to bring something before you got on that CDC ticket.
And you think Sir Joseph brought something?
Sir Joseph has something.
I'm not asking you, I'm not putting you on the spot to say yes or no. We're just opinionating here. Do you think maybe Sir Joseph brought something?
That's what I'm saying, that it was an open secret by then that you had to bring something before you got on that ticket. It was not like 2005.
Okay. All right. Okay, we got it. So once again, people, you are listening this morning to Focus on Liberia in collaboration with Kear Radio 95.9. We are broadcasting live in Monrovia and throughout the length and breadth of the country. Please stay tuned. As we said, we'll run through our topics. Then we'll definitely bring you guys on to hear your contributions. Joining us is J. Victor Nangwe. J. Victor, you've been listening in, and I'm sure you've heard the revelations from the both sedition and former sedition, and what has been going on. What is your take here? One, do you think there's something that we should take seriously, or this is just political mudslinging? And two, should there be some form of investigation, whether by the LACC, whether by the House Investigative Committee, or anyone else?
Well, thank you, Mike. It's good to be with you guys. Apologies, I'm joining you this late. I'm preparing to go to Malcolm's Dunbar Festival in Maryland. You know, shameless plug. You know, she's a CMC sister now, so you know we gotta push.
Manga ain't need no plug, man. Manga is the most popular Dunbar on the East Coast.
Mr. Pablo, we need to charge it, man, for advertisement. And, you know, you can't just be advertising things on here.
So we get ready to head out there, but it's good to be with you. Yes.
Is that the marker of ANC?
Oh, you can't put.
Was
okay.
But yeah, Marka she has come on board to help us, at the CMC. But it's
Oh,
going to be.
Wait. Please. Are you breaking news here?
My
That Mankan, formerly of the ANC, is now a valid registered member of the CMC.
I am honored and proud to say I've been one of those who have been involved in recruiting Marka. I've talked to her on a number of occasions. She's in my region, as a matter of fact. So she's in the Northeast region, and so yeah, we're going out there to.
So seriously, when I made it on human being, yo, just be stealing your friend on a human being.
I tell you this, Mike. This is like education. Almost every form of education that will ever be is already here. We just configure it.
Mm-hmm.
Knowledge right now, is already here. I don't think there's any new knowledge can be invented anymore. We just improve on the previous. It is what it is. I can tell you, every party in the Republic of Liberia has a piece of UPP in it. That is a fact. It's just the nature of our politics in Liberia. Okay. So, but to come back to
please come back. Let's hear about the distributions.
Yes. So, I've listened to the inputs made by my colleagues here, and I don't disagree at all. I think this is troubling. We are all in the opposition community. I'm not going to sit here and gloat over the apparent implosion of another member of the opposition community, but notwithstanding, the revelations that are being made here are egregious, and I think the LACC has gone after much tenuous allegations than what these two people have been peddling over the past few days. I think there is concern for whatever authority, especially the LACC, to take interest in this matter. There are allegations of bribe, kickbacks. Sir Joseph apparently has numbers and names of people who were involved in this. And the denial of our people of the economic benefits that could accrue from these negotiations only because individuals put their selfish interests above the rest of the country. I think that should be concerning to everybody. Every well-meaning Liberian, whether you are a sedition or not, this should trouble you.
Mr. Nangbe, do you think this is going on right now as we speak in the present government?
I won't be surprised if it is, Mike. I don't want to start swinging wild allegations here.
No, if just think about it though, if it happened in the last government, what are the chances of it happening now? It's just common deduction. That's why I'm asking you.
Absolutely, we're hearing murmurings, rumors of the same kind of thing going on in this government, and that might explain the reluctance of this current government to go after these people. Because they have all the right to go after these people. What are they waiting for? 2 years they've been in office, besides the gracious right, and little, tiny little things. These are the big things that we knew were happening that we wanted them to go after. Our people denied $100 million investment, a $500 million investment, only because individuals wanted their kickbacks to be, and I like what one of the commentators on another show was saying. These are not kickback, these are kick front, whatever you want to call them. They wanted their upfront payment before the investment, and here we are. Our people were denying this opportunity. This could have employed. I think one of the negotiations, according to Joseph, would have employed about 6,000 people.
Yes.
Let's
6,000 people in Buchanan or in the country.
Exactly.
6,000 young men and women. Wow.
So I will end by saying absolutely I agree with those who are calling on whether the LACC or even the House or but there has to be, look, there is a lot of impunity that is happening in government, not just in this government, not even in the just the immediate past government. It's been going on for a long time. We have to draw the line somewhere. We got to set example. So I absolutely support the call as much as it is our opposition community members, but we put country first. And so I believe there should be some investigation here.
Dr. Budi,
So,
do you? Go ahead.
Right. So just something I want to add. When President Weah became president, APM terminal was already at the Freeport of Monrovia. They have a concession of 25 years. So they were very aggravated with APM terminals because you couldn't do anything that you wanted to do at the Freeport of Monrovia because it was already under concession. So I think 1 to 2 years in the administration, there was some conversation around really making sure that the port in Buchanan could be refurbished and brought to a standard where you could divert traffic from the Freeport of Monrovia to Buchanan.
Yeah.
In that way, you couldn't have that constraint that APM terminal puts on you at the Freeport of Monrovia. And if that would have gone ahead, so even the port decentralization that we've been discussing for the past couple of months, perhaps it would not have happened. If that investment would have gone ahead, then Buchanan Port would have been far ahead in terms of estates of operation. So perhaps we wouldn't be talking about decentralizing port and all of that. It could be Sino in Maryland. But I'm just trying to bring this point that that's the way we store the growth and development of our country, and we are among the maybe 10 or 12 poorest on the continent because of these kind of attitudes. And that's why we are where we are. Sorry about the
Okay, thank you so much. I'll bring James in. James, I mean, look, when the new government came in, the word we heard moving all around was witch hunt. But now the people talking, they say, and I mean, I'm one of those people who think that there should be an investigation. There should be several investigations. There should be, on what is said. What's your take there, James, man? What do you think the flavor is in Liberia concerning these revelations?
I think these revelations are nothing new to Liberians, especially those who have followed the country's politics for the last 10 years or 12 years. These are things that often happens when a new government starts, and then people try to find their way through to get, to be factored into maybe some agreement or position and stuff like that. So, and obviously, Senator Sir Joseph has announced that he will be contesting as a presidential candidate in the 2029 election. So you expect him not to come and praise or to sing praises to former President George Weah and the CDC. So Liberians, the only thing that Liberians are looking forward to is that some of these allegations that were made raises concern about whether the CDC government actually came in power to change the narrative for Liberians as they expected from them, and whether that some of the things they were doing on the cover, like the agreements they signed, taking kickbacks for some of those agreements, and requesting that people give them money, and also protecting certain officials over another. Today I read a post from the former Buchanan port manager Charles MacArthur Good, and then he said that Senator Sir Joseph is not telling the truth. According to him, Senator Sir Joseph wanted this company to take over the port of Buchanan because it was in his own interest. And according to his post, he said that they could not allow it to happen because, one, the quote-unquote Americans could not allow the maybe or Bulgarian company to come and take over or important part of the countries that generate money. So, and then because of that, Senator Sir Joseph felt betrayed, or he felt that they were not giving the attention. So he even gave some money to MacArthur Good, for that agreement and something like that. But it raises concern about corruption in our country. One government after the other, we see these revelations coming up. The problem here now is, what is the government doing to investigate further these cases? What are they going to do? Because the LMP, the Liberian Anti-Corruption Commission, the Liberian Senate, the statement of Sir Joseph also raises red flag for them, because they are senators who were in the Senate at that time, and then they also might have played some part in that particular agreement or in that deal, according to what Senator Sir Joseph has said. So there are so many things that Liberians should point out to, but one of the things, as I said, Liberians will look forward to is, one, the government trying to pursue some of these allegations to see whether the senator can provide some facts relating to them, and two, some people see them as just the regular politics that has been played by Senators Sir Joseph to gain the attention of some Liberians.
Wow. Okay. Thank you so much, Jane. And as you were speaking, I actually went on on Charles Good, or Charles MacArthur Good, so by who I'm speaking of, on Charles Good's post, and he got pictures and everything that he's talking about.
Yeah, definitely.
This is very interesting, and he even talked about the $500 that Joseph gave. So what I will bring have to bring a Charles on at some point. I hear about the $500 that it was given to him. You know, top bring top, top bring top. So we gotta ask him if that only $500. Because when Sir Joseph comes and say, no, I get you $500, I get you $5,000 there. We know where you're coming from. But great conversation, guys. Great conversation. I want to move on because I want to.
Sorry, can I just say? Let me say something quickly on this while we close on it. Right. I think firstly, the Liberian people need to reject Sir Joseph for whatever position he decides to run for, whether it's to remain in the Senate, whether it's to run for president. They should reject him. Nobody should vote for him ever again in the Republic of Liberia because he was elected to serve the people of the Republic. He sat there, watched this thing go on for years, and said nothing. Now that he wants to run to be something else, and like, oh, look at here, oh, the people are doing Baba thing. Why didn't you come out and say the Baba thing when they were doing it? You waited until now. So the people of Liberia should not be fooled. They should definitely reject him for whatever position that he runs for in the future.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And I will start with
Mr. Pano.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just give me 1 minute to close up on this subject, right?
Okay, 30 seconds. Okay.
Yeah, 30 seconds.
I'm from local country. I'm a DC man. Don't vote for Joseph Parker. Vote for Ambassador Charles Panelist. Has too much impact in my life. He has made me to what I am today. Today is not Joseph, tomorrow it will be you. No condition is permanent. He cannot pick and choose. The day your day comes, you will see it. Don't allow people to lie to you. Citizens that unite. You see me sitting here as a senator. The president gives me the opportunity to make sure that we bring process in Maserati country. You are the testimony. We have reduced transportation in Maserati country.
I think that is enough. That is enough.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Pearson. And like
give me,
Booty
give me
said,
5 seconds.
That 2023 campaign there, so 2023.
That's my question.
We're trying to close it. Yeah, nobody want to let it close.
Nobody want to let it close. Other topic before you leave, please, people.
Yeah, I know, Michael. I'm not disputing what he said. Like I said, I wanted to introduce a nuance. Sir Joseph in 2023 makes that statement because he was still in the CDC, right? My point is that for people to have gotten on that ticket around 2011, from 2005 to 2007, 8, 9, 10, 11, people were actually paying things to get on that ticket. But even if you paid and you got on a ticket and won, you have still said the CDC made you. I mean, as someone who does research, I love to pay attention to smaller things. That's just what I wanted to introduce.
But Mr. Cannon, that's not a nuance. That's not a nuance I will put out there because it's a smoke screen, right? If it was a nuance that changed the narrative, then I get it. But the fact that he himself said, I was made by George Weah. I don't know what nuance we need about that. He said it with his own mouth. George Weah, whether he paid, that's some of the disservice he did to Liberia. You were paying 10,000 and then lying to us that George Weah made it. So why should they vote for him again?
Both points are made. Both points are made. Both points are. I think you guys are making both valid points. Okay, and there are two different points. And we get it. We get it. We understand.
Mike, I respectfully disagree with the 2 points.
Okay, wait now. Can I reiterate the points before you disagree?
I respectfully disagree.
Can I at least reiterate the 2 points before you disagree with the 2 points?
Please do.
Okay. Mike. So one person is saying that, and this is something that we've heard from time immemorial when it comes to our body politics, that people they bring something to the party to get on the party ticket. Some bring finance, some bring people, some bring promises. if you let me run your party in this particular district, I will do this. Even if I get the money today, when I'm elected, I will get so and so back to the party. Those things. And then at the same time, Dr. Booty is saying, listening to what Sir Joseph has reviewed, it should cancel him out of any future political endeavors in the country because he has ruined his integrity. Those are the two things that are being made. How can you dispute those two things, sir? Mr. Nangwe?
So my disagreement with my colleague is this. I disagree with the argument that you should remain tethered to an individual simply because they gave you an opportunity, even if they're doing something that you know is dangerously stupid for the country, and to remain tied to that person. It is obvious. The CDC also made this former president. His football career had run aground. He was out and done. The CDC revived him. So as much as deep people, he made them, they also made him. They made each other. And so to argue that because we are give Sir Joseph prominence and therefore with all that he's telling us, $30 million demand here, $10 million demand here, holding the country hostage, selling the country around to bidders who want to come and invest in the country. You should
Mr. Nangwe is bad for you to try to use speculations and allegations and speak to your
speculative about this?
No, let's say who is speaking from both sides of his mouth, and you want to make him to sound like he's a credible witness to a crime? No, I don't.
All right, I have to tell you
by saying Sir Joseph he has receipts, he has names and numbers of these people who were involved in this negotiation. I don't think this is speculative. Besides, I didn't generate this information. This is news that we're all discussing here that was generated by the CDC themselves. So how am I speculating? Right. I'm just going by what they're telling us. My point is this. I agree that Sir Joseph could have spoken out a long time ago. I agree on that. But the fact that he's speaking out now, are we arguing that he should remain grateful to Weah because he made him? No. He owes him absolutely nothing.
No, we didn't have that conversation.
All right. Yeah, I think you are making a third point. You are making a third point.
Sir Joseph should be committed to the country. I think that's the point.
Do you think Sir Joseph should be taken seriously after this?
It would depend on where the investigation will take us, Mike. But I think what he's putting out there is serious enough.
Why he has said for him off? What Sir Joseph has uttered, the knowledge that he has of corruption and all this, and the length of time he's stuck with the corruption people and hit this. Do you think he should be taken seriously when it comes to political office?
You know, Mike, I'm not going to focus on the messenger. I am focused on the message.
But the messenger is running.
He's telling us.
The messenger will say he won't run for president.
It doesn't matter. That's his right.
All right.
It doesn't matter. I think that would be leveled.
No, Mr. Nangwe. No, there has to be some pushback here. No, Mr. Nangwe, there has to be some pushback. No, Mr. Nangwe, there has to be some pushback here.
It has to be looked into. That's the point I'm making.
Okay, close us up, Dr. Pearson, really quick.
Look. This is what destroys Liberia to the core. People who come and sit in the country, milk the country into the dream, and then you think you can come back and become a credible witness, a credible figure to say that, oh, we did it, I was part of it for 20 years, it was okay, now I want to say it is no longer okay, it sounds good to your ear to make that kind of person a president. So I just have lost relevance. Now, I'm not a CDC, I'm not a unity partisan. Now when I supported the same candidate for this going election, Mr. Alexander Cummings, in opposition. But I would say here for a fact, look, Sir Joseph needs to not to be taken seriously, and if he should be taken seriously, he should be part of the crime. That's what I'm saying. Not to be rewarded for coming up in the last minute and say, oh, you know what happened? I saw this and I kept quiet, and now we're no longer in the party, so I want to become president myself. Yes, what we did in the past. Yeah, that the Booty is right. He shouldn't be taken serious at all.
Okay, no. All right. Okay, gentlemen, we have to move on. Gentlemen, please, we have to move on. Please, we're taking enough time with this first topic, and I have to get Dr. Booty's take on this second before he leaves. Dr. Booty, there's been whispers. We've seen it around Africa. So we've seen it in Sudan. There's talk about it in Rwanda and many other African countries. The U.S. is intrigued in negotiating with African leaders to send deportees from the U.S. into African countries in exchange for friendly economic ties with Africa. The talk has started in Liberia. Should Liberia accept U.S. deportees? Is it going to threaten our security? Is it going to uplift our economy? What is your take on this topic, Dr. Budi?
I think firstly, it comes down to the management of what will be put forward, right? But I will come back to that to address it in a bit. I think, look, there is a benefit here. So I live in the UK, and the previous government, the Conservative government that we voted out in July last year, before they were voted out, they were negotiating this deal with Rwanda, where asylum seekers who came to the UK applied for asylum and failed. And whilst they were waiting appeal, they could be transferred to Rwanda, and the Rwandan government will provide housing for them, provide opportunities for them to, integrate or whatever until such a time that their hearing is completed over here. Yes. There was going to be a financial benefit for the government of the people of Rwanda, significant financial benefit, right? So we've talked about this, Mike, on previous shows, and you know my position on it. I think if we can negotiate a deal that benefits Liberia, and that's why I talk about the management, because there's no point negotiating a good deal, and then when the money comes, they're seeing people then eat it, and then a few years from now, one of them come on and say, "Oh, you see, we're eating the money that time. Now, I don't want. We can't do that kind of stuff, right?" So look, if the Americans want to bring people to Liberia, they need to build the facilities to house these people first and foremost. Yeah. They need to build access to those. So let me make it more practical for our people who are listening in Liberia. What we're saying is we got Bele Yala, right? Nothing there right now. I think whatever was there is broken down, right? Yeah. So we tell the Americans, look, go to Bele Yala and build a state-of-the-art detention center, right? With all of the high fences, the barbed wires that are electrocuted, and all of that. And we want you to build a facility. So maybe build an airstrip, for example, so that we can transfer the people by air if you don't want to build a road, but build something that is self-contained, all-purpose build a facility. And then we want all of the, or even let's say 90% of the people who work for this entity or institution should be Liberians, right? So the guards should be Liberians, the managers should be Liberians, the cleaners, the people who washing the laundry and all of that, the feeding and everything should be Liberians. Now, obviously, I don't know about the US, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but in the UK, for example, it costs the UK government between £1,000 and I think £2,200 a week to keep a person in prison. So the British government pay private entities who own these prisons to keep people in prison. So that £1,000 to £2,200 every week. So that's for each inmate. We're talking about at least £52,000 a year, right? We need to negotiate that. Okay, look, yes, you build the facility. Yes, you build everything there to be able to house them. That's just for the housing. For the management of this place, we expect you to pay us per individual that you're sending to Liberia. Now, obviously, Liberia can go start charging £1,000, which is about $1,300 US. But even at $500 a week, or even $500 a month per inmate, right? And then it's clear that, okay, this will then pay for the people who are working there. And look, there's an opportunity here to create jobs. The final thing I'll say on this is once that is done, there has to be an exit strategy. For me, that is the most important part of this. There has to be an exit strategy that the US and Liberia can agree on. What do I mean? If you send 100 people to Liberia, and we're supposed to keep them for 10 years, and 10 years expires, you must be responsible. If this person is from Jamaica, this person is from Ecuador, this person is from wherever Mr. Kana is, it is your job, Mr. US, to come and pay for these people to go back to once they've served their time and they need to be released. We're not releasing them in Liberia. They must go back to where they come from. So you have to then facilitate their going back. That for me will keep our country safe, but also create economic opportunities for our people. right?
Well, let me ask you, what about the concerns? And I want to ask you this before you go. I know you just got 2-3 minutes. What about the concerns about who is coming? Is that something we should be concerned about? Or do you think we should be more concerned about the economic benefits and the security of the matter?
No, okay. We should be concerned. We can walk and chew gum at the same time. We should be concerned about everything, right? Yes, we want to utilize the economic opportunities that this would present, but at the same time, that's what I talk about, the end strategy, right? The exit strategy. Look, my brother, if the Americans build a facility that can keep the most hardened criminal from escaping, Liberia is not worried about them escaping because we have the facility to keep them in check. Having said that, right, and this is not being I don't want to denigrate anyone in my country because I love my country and people very well. But some of the things that these guys have done in the US, there are people walking around our country free who have done far worse.
That's true.
Right? There are people walking around Liberia that open things, they sort of open, I almost lost my mind now to start describing the horrible things that these people did to women, to children, and to other human beings in Liberia. And they're walking scot-free. Some of them have called themselves pastors today, right? They're walking scot-free. So if those hardened criminals who have killed our people, who have plundered our country, who have destroyed lives and opportunities and properties of other people can walk around free, why is it that we can't keep some hardened criminals in prison that they will be That's why I said the Americans should come and build a purpose-built, high-security facility that we can be confident that these people will not get out unless they come up.
Finally, should we be concerned about the moral part of it? There's been a lot of accusations thrown at President Trump concerning who he's arresting and the process he's using. Should we have any moral? Should we be concerned with the moral ethics of this, or should we be more concerned about Liberia, its development, and how we can take advantage of this opportunity?
All right, let me make it simple because I'm going to go, and I'll leave the argument between Mr. Nangme and Dr. Pierce.
Capable men indeed.
And at the end of the day, my brother, the thing that I'm concerned whether we accept these people, whether we not accept them, Trump will arrest them and send them somewhere. So why can't we benefit from where they're sending, right? Liberia can stand around and say, no, Mr. Trump, we don't want these people. They think you do it bad. You will just say, okay, no problem. Jamaica, you want it? Yes. Okay, Jamaica, let 20 million every year to. Why can't it's going to happen? There is absolutely nothing Liberia can do to prevent America from implementing its immigration policies, right? Or their justice system or their legal instruments. We can't do anything. We don't control how America run their country. If they say to us, do this thing and we'll give you small thing, why won't say no? So saying no doesn't make America stop doing what they're doing. We're not aiding, we're not abetting anything. They're already shipping the people somewhere. We just say, oh, give it to all, we benefit from it, right? It's like let me just put it this way. It's like a poor person and a rich person has food that they want to waste, right? And then you say, oh, I get food to eat, I'll take it. Then somebody say, oh, why are you taking that person with? But the man going to get away. What I take it, what I don't take it, you will don't get away. So I can take it my children at least so they don't go hungry. And that's how we should see it as Liberians. But look, great to be here today. I'm sorry that I have to go. There's this project I'm running and we play football every Saturday. And I need to go kick some men and bone the afternoon. So I hope you guys have a good show. There's a language enjoy that domo there. I can see you rushing. You want to go swallow domo quick, but why you just arguing with everybody here today? But great show, guys, and have a good rest of the Saturday.
Thank you so much, Dr. Budi. Thank you for joining us. We once more we've learned a lot from your contributions. Enjoy your Saturday, and please, I'm begging you, take time. You're born not young anymore.
Not my boy young, my brother. And I will not want to talk about that. Thank you. I'll start out with you again.
But thank you so much. Thank you so much. Once again, people, you are listening to Focus on Liberia here on Kear Radio, FM 95.9, broadcasting live in Monrovia, Liberia, and to the outskirts as well. We have today some honorable gentlemen with us, and we have James in studio. We are discussing the current issues in Liberia. We've talked about the interchanges and exchanges between the Honorable Sir Joseph, Senator from Montserrat County, and also the former representative Moses Akara's grade. Now we're talking about the whispers that are going around that Liberia might be on course to accept deportees from the U.S. I want to talk about the economics of this, so I will definitely go to our resident economist here, Thomas Kane, before I go to the politician on Nangwe. Mr. Kane, look, when I hear about this thing, you know what I think about? I think about the maximum prison that we need instead of that nonsense that we get to the South Beach. That is a complete human rights abuse. I think about the intercoastal highway that will connect Bo Waterside to Cape Palmas. And I dream of myself driving down that coast on my way to Buchanan. I think about the major highway network that will connect Buchanan to Ganta, and it will segue to Banga that will connect to Vonjema, and will also go east from Buchanan halfway through Bassa to connect with River G and Grand G there. I was in Liberia recently. I was in Bassa, and we had to go Nima. To go Nima, we had to come back to Moria, to Magibi, and then pass through Firestone Tango to go back to Banga. Then before we went to Ganta, and all in my mind, I kept thinking, why are we doing this when we could just head north from Buchanan and hit Ganta? I mean, this is what I think about. When you hear the U.S. wants to send us deportees in exchange for financial gains, what do you think about, Mr. Economist?
So the thing about economists is that we don't look at things in one direction. You know, there's a story that is told that one former U.S. president had a team of economic advisors, and every time he asked them on something, they will say, if you do this on the one hand, this is what will happen. On the other hand, this is what will happen. And he said, I need a one-handed economist. I don't want you to tell me one hand and then on the other hand. So that's it, right? And for me, the thing is, why do we need to take in deportees before we can build all those roads that you are talking about? You have huge stock of iron ore spread all across the country, from Lofa to Grand Jide to Bomi. You just discover gold in Addington, just behind the house. We have all these resources. Why can't we build those roads that we have to take in deportees to be able to build the roads? That's one thing, right? So before I even answer your question, going back to the point that Dr. Budi was making, yes, there was the arrangement between Rwanda and the UK to be able to take these people who are going for asylum. But there's a bit of a difference between those people and the kind of people that the US want to deport. Because some of the people the US wants to deport, they themselves are saying that these are hardened criminals, right?
That's what the US is saying, yes.
Yes. Even with the security that they have in the US, they are finding it difficult to keep these people under control. So for poor countries like Liberia and other countries, it's going to be difficult for you to manage these kind of people. So to answer your question, yes, on the one hand, it might create some jobs. You can build the facility that will host them, and then you have security people, and you can hire people who will cook for them and all of that. It will create some jobs. But then how about the risk that is associated with it, which is on the other hand?
So explain to me, what's this risk? What's the risk?
That's where I'm coming.
That they will escape?
No, I'm coming.
Okay,
if
go ahead.
These are hardened criminals, some of them may be from Latin America, who have been in prison, for instance, in the US, and their gang, those people who they work with, want to free them, and they have not had a chance to be able to do that in the US, and you go put them in Bapolu. Don't you think there's a possibility they can pass through Lofa in some other place and get to that place?
And then what they will do, they will free them? When they free them, you think they will stay in Liberia, or they will run away? I mean, what's the danger to Liberians? I'm trying to figure out what's the danger to Liberians.
That's what I'm coming to.
Okay.
So eventually, when you go and put these people there, you hire some people from Esicon and these private security people in Monrovia that are paid $150 or $75. You go and put them there. it's easier to be able to bribe these people. They will tell you, say the next morning the jail was broken, and then the people escape. When they get into your population, it's problem. There are some of these people who they say they are rapists, they are other things. There are some of these people who are maybe tied to drug gangs. They will say that right in Monrovia and organize these things to be able to pass through Liberia. So for me, for you to be able to go through these kind of arrangements, you have to weigh the cost and the benefit. Don't just look at the benefit and say it will create 500 jobs, it will create 600 jobs, and then you be able to take the decision. You also will have to cost that risk that is associated with it. If the benefit is more than the risk, then you can say, yes, we can do it. If the risk is higher than the benefit, then you can say, no, we'll not be able to do it. There are more than 100 countries in the world. Other countries can be able to do it. But for me, if these people are not really hardened criminals, then we shouldn't have a problem with it. Because let's go back to our history. And we were funded by people who were deported from the US, they sent them back to Liberia.
Yeah.
So if these are normal people who can live with us, and they will not cause problem for us, maybe you can say, let's take 300, let's take 400. So that's where the analysis.
300, 400.
That's where the deeper analysis will have to be done. Who are these people? What is their history?
So we'll have to screen it. We'll have to screen it.
Yes.
Okay, we'll do some screening. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that's what Rwanda is doing right now. Rwanda is actually studying the issue.
And that's the problem. That's the problem with us in Liberia. We don't study anything. You just go, they see what they do with the concessions. They will pass it, they finish. When 2-3 persons demonstrate, then they say, bring the concession back. When they were the very people that passed the concession. We have to do a deeper analysis.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kare. I want to go to Mr. Nangwe here. Mr. Nangwe, I mean, we cry every day for infrastructure. We cry every day for roads. I mean, I'm just thinking on that level. If we could get the things that we are crying for, what's the danger here in accepting deportees from Liberia? And should we sit on this moral high horse in poverty and be talking about how we are too good to take deportees from US?
Well, I think the inherent danger is what Mr. Kane and others are pointing out.
I want to talk about that. Tell me about this danger.
Yeah, I mean, basically, the planning that is necessary to roll this out. Look, when we talk about countries right now on the continent that are doing exceedingly well, Rwanda is in the top. There's something they're doing. They have taken on this decision and decided they will look at it. They're leaning towards doing it. These are some of the people who want to emulate on the continent because they're doing some good things. I think they're taking a closer look. I'm not saying we should do it because they have. I am just saying there is reason why some countries are doing so well on the continent and we are not. We get stuck in these antiquated ideas of what development is supposed to be. Look, this is opportunities. You got to be able to recognize an opportunity and seize upon it and run with it. We are so down. Unfortunately, I don't know if we're in the position to say no to America and survive. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying we should be Uncle Tom's or whatever, but this is how bad we are. And let me be honest. I don't believe this is a request to the Liberian government. This is a command. Unfortunately, that's the kind of situation we're in right now. Am I saying this is right? No. But that is the situation we find ourselves in. And so I'm hoping that the people who are dealing with this matter will plan it properly.
Can I put a scenario before you? Because there's a lot of talk about this whole thing about where, they are hiding criminals. Most of the people are talking about are white people. They're not Guineans, they are not Ivorians, they are not Sierra Leoneans. They're not people that look like us. These are not people that can blend into our society. So if one of these white people escape, between they really going to go sit down in Monrovia, all of a sudden, just this white man sitting down in Monrovia,
and just disappear,
no, most of the people are going to try and get out. Yeah. They're going to try and get out of Liberia. That would be the plan. So, I mean, this whole notion about, they are hiding criminals, they'll be dangerous. I mean, should we really pay attention to that? Or, thinking about it, do you really think this is It's a danger to Liberia. It might be a danger to the facility when they go break it to escape the people. But do you think there'll be a danger to our society? Or if they do escape, they're just going to be trying to get out of Liberia and back to wherever they are familiar with?
Yeah.
So hold on,
Mr. Kane. Hold on, Mr. Kane. No, Mr. Kane, Mr. Kane, you gotta wait. I got a year from now. Wait, you come back.
No, I'll let Thomas go. I'll go after him. Go ahead.
Why you want for Thomas? Why you want Thomas to defend himself?
No, but here is the thing, Mr. Padmore, right?
Go ahead.
You take the people, then they give you the money, you pay the road. When the people escape, how would they give you the money?
My man, we don't. You say we don't play. Would I just be after the money? Then you want to ask me about playing again? Don't do that. Don't do that. No, but look, in all seriousness, right? I'm hoping that my thing is, if we do decide to accept people here, that we'll do it through a tougher process. We'll protect not only our sovereignty, but our citizens. You know, and we'll know exactly what we're getting into, and people will be allowed. The Liberian public will be allowed to say something, to play a role in the decision of this thing. And it shouldn't be another fly by night thing under the radar, and then all of a sudden we hear, oh, the House passed this or the Senate passed this. Dr. Pearson, we've seen this a lot. With a lot of deals in our country. They come in under the cover of darkness. The public doesn't know much about it. We're seeing it right now play out where they have to the House and the Senate are calling on LTM, is that what they call Liberia Traffic Management, to halt operations so they can review things. These are things that these people previously reviewed in several sessions. Okay, our executive and they pass it under the cover of darkness. We have this deal coming through. And you know how we do things in Liberia, and this should be the real fear. I mean, what is your thing here? How do you think our government should handle this?
Thank you. I think President Boyka, if he happens to listen to this or any of his feature, when President Boyka was vice president under Manuel Ellen Johnson, one of the phrases that made an entry into our developmental process, and I think Thomas can refer to this as well, is evidence-based decision-making. And majority of the planning processes was required to be evidence-based approach. And when it comes to evidence-based approach, it requires you to have data to support your decisions you're making and to support your plans. Sadly, with all of those awareness, and in fact, I recall USAID were training people all around, M&E officers, they're on evidence-based approach. You go to any government meeting, the first of all, you gotta be evidence-based. We have the talk, but we never actually adapted that practice in earnest. And having said this, look, Mr. Padmore, that is the worrying part of Liberia. You hear people say we want 285 yellow machine. Nobody told you how that 285 machine, that number was arrived. Nobody tell you how it was arrived. Nobody tell you how it's going to be an impactful project to the country in terms of the details. Everybody just say, I want a machine. No matter how you can, the country just bring a machine. Right? Down to our man, 50-50. What my papa need again, sir?
Max?
T-Max, to put a neck on chopping boy and end up being caught. And but Joseph Boyka, the call here on that yellow machine business to the day T-Max can't find it here. Right? So, let me ask you, Mr. Padmore, RRA was built by the United States government for us. What is the status of RRA today, long term? The JFK Memorial Hospital was built by the United States government. What is the status of JFK today as we speak, long term? The Firestone Company, for over 100 years now, has been run by Firestone. What improvement do you see at Firestone that will encourage you to want to become what we call neo-colonial country, to receive Western goods from your past colonial master, that the goods he doesn't want, that is not fit for a society, must be dumped into your own society? It reminds me of us bringing 1926 cars in container to Liberia. By the time you bring it down, it becomes a dump site for Liberia. We're bringing freezer, we're bringing stove, we're bringing beds and other things. By the time you bring it, all of them turn to waste product in Liberia, like a dumping ground. When will we start to think as a country that Liberia has the potential to decide her own future? Montgomery County said something very important here. What do we have that we can rely on to develop our own country rather than waiting for a colonial master to bring us wasted goods, and then we think that we can manage the wasted goods for him over the long term and receive benefits that JFK did not receive, RIA did not receive, Firestone have not produced. Where is that going to come from? Let me end by saying this. Liberia has her legacy etched in its international and domestic policies. We are noted. If you went back and you research, you will see President Turbo made a speech even on Gaza, the Palestinian people as we're speaking today. Gaza is an issue. He is clear. Let the Palestinians have their own land, their own state. There should be a two-state. That old man said that thing years ago. Yes, Liberians are bright people. So our foreign policy does not support Donald Trump, racist, a violation of human rights and the rule of law. It does not support his policy.
Do you think we should go against Donald Trump?
It's not supported. It's not supported by our foreign policy. Not our policies.
Dr. Pearson, hold on one second. Do you think we should go up against Donald Trump?
It depends on how you're talking about God. Look, I believe, and this is what I would say to this question. I believe we have one of the brilliant minds in foreign policy in our country. I believe we can tell Donald Trump that we cannot take this deal and give him a good reason why we cannot take this deal. We don't have the infrastructure to take this deal. We don't have the economy to support the deal in the long term. We cannot trust the United States government to spoon feed us with monies in the long term over this deal. We cannot handle the cross-continental drug corridor that is built in West Africa. Should we have hiding drug criminals in Liberia and exploit our poorer borders to become the new corridor for drug to Europe and to America? Like you remember the last time, quite recently, a plane landed in Liberia transporting drugs, only to be caught in Sierra Leone later on. And Liberia will get no explanation for that cross-border or drug trade that happened in a plane that had no certificate to fly.
Okay. All right, Mr. Number 10 seconds.
Let me just say that. And Dennis Jai is also texting me disappointed. You know, I don't.
That's okay. Dennis can handle disappointment.
Let me just say this. Let me say this. First of all, the notion that we are, by accepting these people, we are contributing to colonization or neo-colonial is a misnomer. These people, we are not helping the United States to arrest and imprison these people. That's not what we are doing. Right now, these people, if anything, their freedom has been restricted because they are in this foreign country where they don't want them. We are actually helping them to improve their movement, their freedoms. I don't see us contributing to neo-colonialism by doing this. I don't see it that way. I think I think the perception is wrong. Two, you know, Pearson is alluding to JFK and RIA and all of these things. Those are institutions that were built by the Americans and handed over to us to manage over time, and we failed. We're not going to be managing this prison. That's not what has been discussed. And again, this is why I said, if this is managed well, yes, I understand we have a history of mismanagement, but I think that a lot of people are talking and people are listening now. There is a good potential.
All right,
but this seems to be structured in a way that it can pan out well.
Okay.
This country, if you people don't know, the user pulling out all these people, this country is near collapse. If you don't know that, and we can't throw the bathwater out with the baby. We got to be smart here.
All right.
This is something I believe, if it is done well, that could benefit the country. Doctor, I think it was
if it is
and
done
we're
well,
talking about 400-500 people being employed. You multiply that by 5 extended family members. How many people this will benefit in your country?
All right.
And who knows? This is probably for 5 or 10 years or less. This is not going to be an extended, extensive engagement. I don't see it that way. These people are just going to be brought over until they are processed. Most of them are people who are being deported from other countries who need somewhere to be processed until they can be taken back to the various countries. I don't think that to classify all of them as criminals, I don't think it's correct. Most of the people are deportees.
Very hard working deportees too, I will say. I've worked with some of them before. Let me bring him on over in here. James, y'all ready for Jose? Donald Trump said he wants to send a report to that bureau so they can be there because he wanted in America. What do you think, my man? You think we can handle these people? You think we can build the infrastructure to handle these people and secure them, and at the same time, build infrastructure like roads and stuff? My man, my heart really on that intercoastal highway. So what do you think, James?
For me, I think we are not ready yet for that. I think like one of the panelists said that we should rethink or we should do sufficient research on that to know the benefits and the disadvantages of bringing those people over 10,000, like you said, to our country. So let's look at the Liberians who were brought from Ghana, from the Buduran camp to our country. How did we treat them? How were they treated when they came back home? What did the government do for them? Like, even though they are saying that it's going to be managed by the U.S. government, but I'm sure a larger portion will be managed or maintained by the Liberian government. So there were several complaints for even the Liberians who came back from Ghana. And I think that even led to the suspension of the LCCC bus at a time by the president.
Yeah.
So we should also look at some of these things too as well. How well are we going to manage this? And it's one thing to say, I'll build this, I'll build the facility, I'll build roads. It's another thing to transform the words into actions. So, and also we should also look at our leaders. Sometimes we have heard so many times that our company wants to invest, but most time when they want to, for example, say, okay, we'll bring 20 million maybe for this particular project or for this situation, we'll bring 20 million. Our leaders going to be sincere enough to allow or to just invest that 20 million into development for the roads, the prison facilities, and to ensure our security. That's another thing, because most times our leaders are not sincere with these things. They seek their own interest above Liberians. And the issue of security is very paramount. Bringing these people, we do not know who they are. There are some people who are good here, but there are some rapists, there are some maybe murderers and other people who are there. So what becomes of them when it comes to Liberia? What if maybe one or two of them escape? What happens to our society? We have our children coming up. We have the kids that are coming up. So there are so many sides of this that we can look at. And I will prefer that the government investigates, the government does sufficient research on this particular situation, and then make an informed decision on what Liberia will benefit, what Liberians are to benefit, and how well it will impact our society. Other than that, I do not support it. And I think Liberia is not ready for it yet.
Let me ask you a question. What if the hiding criminal there, they pay up more money? Where they offer up more money for the hiding criminal than for the Eastern people there? You think that's something we should look at?
The money may sound like something that will benefit us maybe economically, but let's look at how the money will be used. For me, that's my concern. Mm-hmm. Because if you come and give 100 million here today for development Liberia, mm-hmm. How is that money going to be used on our people? How is it going to be used to develop the country, or how is it going to be used to impact the economy? So it's not about the money that will come, but it's about how the money or the facilities are going to be managed. Because if you give out so many huge money to us, yes, we need it. But how our leaders are going to develop or use that money for its intended purpose is the question that I continue to ask. And I think they should answer that, and they should show ways in which the pathway we're going to use. Until then, I think, and I maintain that Liberia is not ready until we can investigate and do our research, to make an informed decision.
Okay. All right. Thank you so
Mike,
much.
Can I just have 5 seconds? Let me quickly. Look, the way we're looking at this, I'm not sure this is how it's going to play out, where they come and dump 20 million, $100 million and walk away. No, I don't think this is what's going to happen. These are facilities that are going to be built, managed, maintained by the Americans themselves. I don't think this is what we're discussing here. Even if they were to give for that money, what about the people who will be taking care of these people? These facilities will directly employ Liberian. We already talked that Liberian will do the leaning. Liberian will likely do the cleaning. Liberian will likely do the cooking. There are a lot of secondary attachment or benefits that will come out of this. So again, I'll pass it on, but I think it will play it well. And I understand the apprehensions. I respect that because we have a history of poor planning. But if we allow this to plan, it will play it well. I think there are a lot of benefits to be accrued from this.
Mr. Padma, can I ask Nangwe a
Yeah,
question?
you can go. You got your 10 seconds. Go ahead there.
Look, Mr. Nangwe, Trump's immigration policy is not one that is a long-term planning. It's a do-now project to appease his base. How many prisons have Trump built outside of the United States on this project of deportation? How many people that he put on planes and sent out of the country that went to facilities that he built? Consider the building of the Alcatraz that he's doing right now on the island that he's building, that prison facility that has just been knocked down by a federal judge, has been temporarily closed down. The project has been stopped because of the illegal and fail to follow the rule of law aspect to that entire program. So what makes us think that President Trump has any interest in his Make America Great Again to build a prison company in Liberia or to build a coastal highway in Liberia when he's cutting down USAID that is helping pregnant women? What sense does that make to a thinking person?
Can I ask you a quick question, Doug?
Yeah.
So hang on. He asked me directly. Let me respond to him.
Go ahead.
So the rule of law that the people in the United States are decrying the Trump administration by is not a rule of law of Liberia. These are American rules that they're talking about. What he's doing defies American rule. This is not the same thing. Your constitution and their constitution are not the same thing. Your rules are different. Your rules of engagement, their rules of engagement are different. You are taking an American institution and supplanting it in Liberia, and I think that's a mistake.
Okay.
Can I come in?
Yeah, you got your 5 seconds there, Thomas.
Right. So this is why I'm saying it goes back to the whole issue of doing a detailed cost-benefit analysis of this one. And there are different levels that you have to consider. President Trump is in power for the next 3 years. What happens beyond that? If a new regime wins election in the US, when the people come and then they say, we'll give you this money, and then that regime comes, that doesn't work. Those people will not be left to starve. The government will have to take the responsibility to take care of them until a settlement is reached. And on the issue of, okay, they will come and build, that's a sovereign country, right? How will you just allow another country to come and build prison in your country and take care of it? I don't think it works that way. What we have seen with even Ecuador is that they are sending these people to prisons that Ecuador is already has in place. They're not going to build it and send the people there. So it's like it has to be a national facility. So even if it is going to be built, maybe they will have some deals with you and say, we'll give you this aid, we'll give you that support, and then you will prepare the place. Sovereignty will not allow one country to go and build prison in another man's country. I don't think it works that way. So for me, this is why I'm saying, whether we support or we go against it, this has to be a detailed analysis that the government will have to sit and do. In some instances, like you all are saying, some countries take risks. Yeah, I'm finishing. Some countries take risks.
No time.
Yeah, I know, no time. And one of the countries that can take risks, and that's why it is where it is the US. Mm-hmm. The US takes risks with everything. Even when you are afraid that this country, they are all rebels, they will allow people to come from there to come to their country. You go, okay, 2 or 3 persons is okay. But they know that there are things that they can benefit. But that's because they have the capacity to be able to do this detailed analysis and forecast long term as to what will happen. So that's where I think we need to do this. Rather than just sit there and say, we don't want it or we need it, they will build a road. It's not something that we can easily just come up with until a detailed analysis is done as to where we will fit. And then we can go ahead.
All right. The Economist is calling for a detailed analysis. I'm telling him, Trump only got 3.5 years left. No time. Okay, we gotta make decision. We have to make a decision because when Trump move, the whole thing is finished. Okay, it's finished. We can't do anything about it again. Opportunity passed. But
and that's the risk.
With great opportunity comes great risk. You know, sometimes you gotta be willing to step into that void. Prepared. I must say that you must be prepared. Maybe we can take 6 months, study this. Maybe we can wait and see how Rwanda do it. You know, and see what happens in Rwanda.
I was going to say that maybe instead of waiting for Rwanda,
we can learn from other people. You know,
Go to
let's
other
see how
countries that
Rwanda
have
take
done
it
it,
in.
right?
Yeah,
I
we
hope
can
this
call
is part of
in
the
Ecuador
preparation.
and say how you are pressing, how you keeping the people. I mean, there's much to be done. Okay, gentlemen, we have exhausted this topic. Let's run through the last one really quick here.
But
Because
Michael, if you have a house in Morovia, we can start with that one.
no problem. You're paying me. Oh, I read not to get my property. As a matter of fact, I have 100 acres of country right now. I will provide your lease for me. For the rest of my life, you guys can take it and lease it. I will provide that. I tell you right now, I'm a man of great opportunity and great risk. But of course, we must do it thoughtfully. Thoughtfully, yes, indeed. So finally, gentlemen, this one I just want to just speed over it really quick here. We saw the march. We are all aware of the drug epidemic, the drug pandemic in Liberia. We there's nobody who doesn't know somebody who doesn't know somebody who is affected by this drug thing. It's been a startling revelation on the expense of it, the numbers that people are talking about, the numbers, just the entire numbers. And that one more reason why we should bring up people, because that money we can use it to rehab the drug people. But anyway, there was a march. It was a great march. It was well attended. And petitions were delivered to our leaders. And then the next day, a few days later, right, we saw the organizers of the march invited by the president to the executive mansion, and he met with them, according to the executive mansion, for hours in a lengthy meeting. And at the end of that meeting, he promised to listen to the petition and to take some action and for them to continue working together. Meaning that the one that caught my eye, there was nothing definite. There was a lot of political exchange and a lot of political promises. Oh yes, let's continue working, let's continue looking at it. All the while, the children in Liberia they are under the influence of this drug. Mr. Nangwe, should we take anything from this really quick? Oh, it's just another political show.
It's so difficult to forecast anything about Liberia. I hope this is going to lead to something. The organizers here, I think they have some serious people among them. Hopefully, they're going to push. But I'm really tentative on this. There is a presidential committee that was set up by this current government, comprising of major line ministries since last year.
Yeah.
We just read, I think 2 weeks or so ago, the legislature was expressing their anger over their failure to appear, just to explain to the people what they're doing. Even though they said they were all in country. They sent their deputies. Why they were all, hopefully they were not lying down on the beach or somewhere. But this is the level of seriousness that this is being treated with. And so the fact that the organizers on August 7th decided to come out in the street and highlight, and raise the awareness, I'm hoping it will claim the attention of those so that it is given the seriousness it deserves. They met with the president. That's a good thing. I hope they will keep engaging, and I hope the government will rethink the way they're handling this thing. It is a very serious matter. It is serious enough to the extent that all of West Africa is now collaborating with other West African parliaments here in the country, parliamentarians in the country. It's a serious problem. And I think we are a country of concern in the region. We become a transit point and now a major consumer. We heard the former president $100 million worth of drugs, and then I think on the heel of that, some 25, I think 40 million, I forget the number. So these are huge sums of money we're talking about. And these kind of monies, because they are liquid most of the time, they're able to be thrown around. So your agents who are fighting these things, they have to be empowered. So it's a whole lot of issues that are connected to them, but I hope something comes out of it.
Okay, we heard a lot of hope just now from Mr. Nangwe, and that's fine. It comes with age. So
All right.
I let the people. I let the people here. But look, here's the thing. And I'm gonna go a little political on this to bring in Dr. Pearson. Dr. Pearson, when this march, when the vibrations of this march first started, we heard a lot of we need to march to the capital, and we need to demand from our leaders, and we need to demand, and then as the day grew closer, we saw the same people who are the march organizers. We saw them visit the Capitol, and they were there with the Senate Pro Tem, they were there with the speaker, they were showing T-shirt, everybody. And then all of a sudden, the tune started to change. It was no longer, we need to march to the Capitol and demand from our leaders. It started to, we'll provide awareness. We'll raise awareness. And then by the time the day came, the actual day of the protest, the only thing we hear was say no to drugs. It was no longer let's hold our leaders accountable. It was no longer let's demand more money from more funding from our leaders. It was no longer let's demand more seriousness. It was say no to drugs. And everybody was dancing. You know, in the crowd, you saw lawmakers, you saw ministers, you saw deputy ministers, you saw advisors from the president. It was just a big old party. And look, as much as people know I'm not a fan of the Unity Party, but look, so now you got to give praise where praise is due. The Unity Party government handled this well. That by the time they had squashed all of the noise, and it was just one big party, and now they're all working together. What say you, Dr. Pearson?
Mr. Partner, we need the compact $500 million.
Mm-hmm.
And to get that compact $500 million, there are certain indicators that you must meet when it comes to political freedom, respect of human rights and the rule of law, and all that kind of thing, how you treat citizens. Look, a lot of things going on in Liberia right now. They are prepping, we're prepping for the compact phase to see that even the enough is enough protest when we are the high water tanker, and being discharged as it was initially designed to be discharged, and even exercise before but everything went down. We started to bring these concerns up about the compact, so you can see why the government is showing favorable signs that protest is a welcome idea. But I will not stop there. Let me say this: drug in Liberia is a pandemic. It's an epidemic, I should say, an epidemic, because there's a difference between pandemic and epidemic. It's an epidemic in Liberia right now, and by that I mean, if we are not careful, the next 10 years from now, Liberia will have a complete destroyed youth that will have no future. Now, but this is the government of President Boyka that came to power, and President Boyka said in his inaugural address, drug is a national emergency. Nothing gets higher than that declaration from a president. There's a president who went and took a drug test one day, and that was the end of the drug test promotion in the country.
Yes.
There's a president who did 2 budgets now, 2024 budget, 2025 budget, and underfunded the fight against drug. There's a president who sat and presided over the complete breakdown of the LDEA, where he lost 2 of the major leaders, bosses of the LDEA, and the 3rd resigned, and the 4th is still complaining that the LDEA is still underfunded. There's a president who said under his watch, he will make sure that the young people are not destroyed by drug, but the crisis with drug addiction has increased under his watch. Tell me, if his declaration of drug as a national emergency did not work, that petition where you're shaking and laughing and doing photo up will work? I think we should get serious with this matter, because President Boyka and Madam Katumu Boyka should realize that even their children will not be exempt.
That's true.
From the menace that this drug can cause.
Okay.
Like Musa Hassan Bedede is a testimony to this with his son, and I will stop there.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Karen. Let me bring you in here. And I want to speak a lot more away from the politics, but more to the economics of this. Okay, we are a struggling economy. Okay, and when we start to see young people, which is basically the lifeblood of our country, These are the people who should be put into work. These should be the energy. This should be the driving force of our economy. And we see them succumbing to drugs, where basically we're going to have an addicted population. How does this affect our ability to grow our economy and to finally create a middle class and do better in Liberia?
It's going to be really difficult. You know, this is a complex situation that needs to be taken seriously. We already have a problem with illiteracy in the country. Most of our young people don't have the opportunity to go to school to be able to change their lives. So we have a huge burden of high level of illiteracy. So that means for them to be able to meet their full potential is very difficult because of the opportunities that we are providing for them. So the only thing that is left with them is that physical strength that they have. So let's say you want to make a farm, they can be able to go and work for you. But if you add drugs to it, it takes away that last piece of value that they have in them. Because when they take that drugs, they're not able to do anything. It takes away their thinking, their strength is gone, and nothing they can be able to do. So if you have this country where over 30 to 40% of its population is young people, and in economics, that's what we call human capital. So you can have all the natural capital that you have the iron ore, you have the gold, you have everything. Part of the reason why people come to Liberia and just walk over us is because we don't have that human capital. Even to negotiate these complex deals, like we're talking about, do we bring in deportation and all of that? How do you build that kind of deal to benefit you in the next 20 to 25 years? You need human capital to be able to do it. So if you have your young people and they are all taking drugs, they don't have the ability to do any of that, we might just end up concessioning the whole state to other people. Like in our economy, everything is concession out. Anything that is important, one or two persons that go to Ministry of Commerce and then they take the IDP and they are the only one that can import it. So we need to take this drug issue very, very serious to be able to address it. And it is so complex in the sense that we are not even able to address it as a country. That's why you see ECOWAS coming in now to address it as a regional issue. It's not only us. Sierra Leone, Ghana, Nigeria, everybody is having problem with it. So we need to take it serious.
Okay.
But let me come back to the issue that Mr. Onangwe was discussing. And to me, this is very concerning. So the president set up this committee way back in 2014, headed by the Minister of Health, with other ministers there to be able to develop a plan on how the government can address this drug issue. They go away, nobody knows what they are doing until the Senate calls them to say, come and report to us and tell us where you are exactly. And don't forget, there was some money put in the budget for this. And they don't come present. On the eve of the march, then the president writes a statement and put it out and say, based on the report that has been submitted by the committee. And the question I'm asking myself is that if that report was available, why didn't you go to the Senate to go and present the report to show exactly where you are? And then the president outlines a long list of things, introducing a drug curriculum and doing this and doing that. Why if the people had not said that they were going to come out to march? Were you going to put that statement out? So it's like we're sitting and waiting for these people to march. And like you are saying again, in the end, it almost became like all the government entities were supporting the march. Even the LDA, they pull out, they say, oh, we support the march. But the people are marching to call your attention, and then you become part of them to march. So who was really presenting a statement to who?
Yeah, the
entire government was marching.
We're presenting to God.
Oh, you see the petition? I wasn't there.
That God was sitting there with them.
Let me say that quickly.
I have to hold you. James, please, we have to bring callers on, okay? We have 15 minutes to go. We'll have to bring callers. Mr. Diamond, please hold your horses. Please, I beg you. James, so please, let's go ahead and announce the call numbers out there so our audience can start to go ahead and call in.
Okay, so to make an input on the program, you can call 0770-277737, 0881-2 225-980, 0770277737, 0881-225-980 are the numbers to call. Let's hear from you on the program. We're discussing so many issues, so let's hear from you. 0770277737, 0881-2259-80, 0881-2259-80. Let's hear from you on the program. So we have our first caller here. Welcome, good evening. You got me? Welcome.
What I want to say has to do with the deportees.
Okay, please go ahead.
The people should not come. We already have problem here. That country is a sophisticated country. They cannot control the people in that country. We don't have the sophistication. That's why they want to give us money. They take their money.
Okay.
Like you're taking garbage from your country and dominating a lot of you want to bring garbage for your money? Let's have an opinion pool on this thing.
Okay.
The government should not do it on the carpet.
Thank you. So currently, let's take another person.
Okay, which one? It shouldn't do it or not do it on the carpet. Which one?
Let's say another person. 077027 7737 0881 225-980. Let's hear from you. 077027 7737 08. Another person is here. Welcome.
Good morning, my dear brother.
Good evening. How are you?
Okay, my name is Emmanuel Collins. I call from Cinco 16.
Please go ahead.
Okay, thank you. I don't even know from where to start. This government. But why was the government behaving or pretending to be the sponsor of this march? I thought people try calling your attention so you can know exactly what to do. Like the brother just said, you see, everybody is a fool, eh? And these people campaign on a matter of changing things around. But I don't understand. In fact, things are going backward. The kind of drugs we have in town now, it wasn't even when they were campaigning that they were going to change things around. How they call it, not even who they want to call it, whatsoever. I don't even know the name.
Okay.
So let me give the young people the chance. Let it call, my dear brother.
Thank you. So currently, let's get another person. 077027 7737 0770. Let's. Okay. Welcome. Quickly, 1 minute. Quickly.
Hello.
Galai, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much. This was calling for so good to be precise.
Okay, go ahead, please.
Yeah, thank you ever so much for the topic on the discussion. You see, the panelist said, this thing here is not an issue of politics, and we don't have any country as our people are so big with us, and they are not working in the interest of us. So we pray that these things should work. It should have an American issue. That we should accept the things I did our brother and sister. That there's no job in the country, my brother. We are brains are suffering. The people are so big for us that they wish it our Lord because they are not in our interest. Whatever thing that they do in their interest. So we pray that this thing should be fruitful for our brains to work. We suffering.
Okay, thank you. So currently, 077027 7737 0881 2259-80. Let's hear from you. Okay, another person is here. Welcome. Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Ivan. Sorry, calling for New Jersey FC.
Please go ahead.
Sorry. I'm going straight to the point of South Joseph issue.
Okay.
We're discussing. Well, my brothers in Liberia today, we are fooled by the politicians, but now we are getting to know that the see people that come to last order, the see people that stay following in this country. South Joseph is one of the very big deportees in this country. So we are just waiting to see how they'll be coming. South Joseph is my best friend for New Jersey STA, but we know what they did, and we are ready for them to come back. South Joseph is one of the men who will not be trusted in Liberia anymore in this government.
But he's your best friend, or the men are bad for you, not trusting again?
No. We know. Before even this election can go ahead, before CDC can launch the election, we know what's going on. And we tell people, but they don't believe. But we are still looking ahead to see the coming back of 2020 now.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, so let's take another person. We have a few minutes to go. 0770277737, 07702777. Let's take another person. Welcome.
Hello?
Please-
Hello?
Yeah, you're live. Please go ahead.
My name is Lawrence Doe. I come from around the Kakata area.
Okay, Lawrence,
Let
Kakata,
me
please go ahead.
run over this Joseph. Joseph. I don't know. My brother Joseph. We now, I don't know, but Joseph, I think we had 3 groups of people that were voting for him all the time when he was here. Sedition was voting for him. Even people in the UP were voting for him, not because he was a member of the United Party, but because of the good work he was doing. And ordinary people who were not member of any party. The thing just Joseph helped us vote for him, but now he put himself in the ring, in the boxing ring now. So I don't know. I mean, it was just better you remain. You almost like a neutral man, though he was a senator in the House, for the CDC. You almost like a neutral man before I had last night. Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you so kindly.
Let's take 2 more calls, okay?
Okay, yeah, sure. Definitely 0770277737. Okay, welcome. Welcome.
Yeah, hello?
Alive, please go ahead.
Yeah, I want to come in calling from Lower Johnsonville.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to speak on the issue of the drugs.
Okay, please go ahead quickly.
Yeah, the government came to power on the issue of drugs. The federal government had drugs. But the poor king, they do nothing but the drug business. Then they pay for all of us Liberians because the people coming out of talk, so they want to start, the president wants to release statement in it. Why you couldn't do what he did before the march? So the people pay for all of us in Liberia. The people not care for us, they only care for themselves.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so kindly. Let's take the last call and then we wrap it up. 0770277737. 0770. Okay. The last caller, you're welcome. Good evening.
Hello?
Your life, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. This is what the Jesus Lamiji and Kwebo Suve to be. I just want to address the issue of Sadducee and all the people are going to pick that.
1 minute quickly. Go ahead. 1 minute.
Yeah, thank you. Also, my brother, thank you. You see, the issue of Sadducee, maybe good. Those guys are living in the CDC. And now they are making that thing went wrong, and they all were part of the thing that went wrong. Every people do. These are the essential people that we always talk about in the country. We understand that. I understand somebody saying that they don't go and nothing because I just need to go with that shoe. And the citizen made I just and also the citizen made and Joey because I give a take. And to the point that this guys different to the party, I will agree when you guys want to leave, you can leave, but you don't be part of the problem. You won't be part of the problem. You're all part of the problem. If anyone that we're all wrong the country, you part of it.
Okay. Thank you so kindly. Okay. Thank you. So yeah.
All right. Okay, thank you so much. I want to say thank you to our listeners out there for calling in. You are an integral part of this show, and we appreciate all of your calls. Stay tuned as we close up right now. So, gentlemen, it's been a really good show so far. I want to give everybody a time to go ahead and give their closing. You can touch on any one of the 3 topics we talked about, or you can do a quick run through of all 3. So, Mr. Namwe, is it okay if you go first, sir?
Thank you, Mike. I was muted. Yes, thank you very much for the opportunity.
Okay,
it's been great being with you guys. Beautiful, great day, beautiful show. Look, I will close out by saying this. Congratulations to the Citizens Movement for Change, CMC. Yesterday, if you watched any of the social media platforms from Liberia and beyond, we engaged the city of Buchanan and we inaugurated for the first time in the 178-year history of the Republic of Liberia. We inaugurated electronic recruitment of partisans. This is something that's never been done, but you haven't seen all of us yet. You haven't. There's more to come. Where that came from, we intend to change the game. We are going to revolutionize politics in Liberia. We're going to make it easy. We're going to make it efficient. We're going to make it interactive. We're going to make it productive to be a part of the political space. So I urge you to come and join us. www.cmcliv.com. It's been a great show. Thank you very much.
You get a check. You say you get our bill. When I'm playing one, you must get money.
Send it to the Doctors Club, PSA and Booty. They'll pay for me.
All right. Mr. Kane, let's go ahead and hear from you, sir.
Thank you very much. It was a good show. So, like I said from the beginning, I'm not surprised of what Senator Sir Joseph said. It's just validating what was documented over the past 6 years. I think it should claim the attention of the anti-graft institutions to see if they can investigate it and go down into it. Maybe it could lead them to other things that actually happen. It should also claim the attention of the Asset Recovery Committee and all of that, all these anti-graft institutions. And like someone said on the show, all the hype that we had, people were going to be audited in the current government and in the previous government. Everything, it just went down. It just became lukewarm. And the only thing that is coming up is a rise, some number of bags of rice where they are running behind people for it. When we are expecting the asset recovery team to recover billions that we can use to build a road from Buchanan to Sino County. So on that first topic, it doesn't surprise me. But for the fact that it's coming from the house's mouth, I think it's good for them to investigate. It also goes to the point of why CDC is always saying they're going to come back, they are going to come back. To come back to do this same thing, they just strangulate the country and ask for money for investment. So they should really be thinking as to how they are going to move forward when they talk about coming back. On the deportee issue, I think it's something that we need to really deep dive in. As a government, they need to do really top-notch analysis to be able to decide exactly what to do. On the issue of the drugs, I think the government needs to sit down and develop a plan as to how they will address this drug epidemic. Putting out a statement of 10, 15 bullet points doesn't call it. We need to have a clear plan as to what the Ministry of Health will do, what the LDA will do, what the LRS will do, what the other ministries that are not even related to drug, what are they going to do to expand opportunities for employment in our country? Part of the reason why people are taking drugs is because they are idle. They are not doing anything. What is the Ministry of Youth and Sport going to do on youth capacity building, youth or development, and all of that? I think the government needs a plan on how they will address this, rather than wearing the t-shirt that people have printed for the march, and then they just take pictures and put it on Facebook.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Dr. Pearson, please bring us home. We have less than 2 minutes.
Thank you, man. Thank you, Palmer, for the show tonight. Thanks to my fellow panelists. Thanks for James. Thanks for being there with us too. And thanks to the Liberian people and our viewers worldwide. Listen, Sir Joseph is not a credible witness. Sir Joseph is not a voice to be speaking on the issue about the ills that he participated in, and only coming up now because he wants to be a presidential candidate for 2029, as he has announced, and form a new political party. That's total nonsense, and he should not even be given credence for any political office in Liberia going forward. He's a hypocrite and he's a backstabber. He's not fit to be president in the Republic of Liberia. Let me move on to the next point. Deportees. Liberia does not have the infrastructure. Liberia does not have the economic capacity. And Liberia has a fragile border with the drug corridor increasing gradually drifting towards the Liberia, Sierra Leone. We don't need any other form of international drug laws to come in our country and make connection to Europe with the drug crisis in the world today. No, I think our government has enough expertise in the foreign ministry to be able to speak to Donald Trump and solve in a savvy manner, get us away from this whole deal. Last but not the least, the drug issue. President Parker is not serious about fighting drugs. We can tell if he's serious from the national budget. We can tell if he's serious when the LDA is properly funded and staffed. We can tell when they start giving boogers a search and seizure warrant, then we know President Parker is serious. Until Jojo can stop selling drugs in his own nightclub he's running, President Parker is not serious to stop drug. So I would just say to this, President Parker, wake up, because at the end of the day, drug will not distinguish between your children and our children. The only difference is that you will be able to fly your own children out of Liberia and give them a better life, and the ordinary people will remain in Liberia and suffer the brunt of the crisis. Because right now you're driving $1 million plus Toyota, 2 pieces bulletproof, 2 pieces Lexus bulletproof. So you feel you immune to these kind of things. But remember, our children are our future, and you have children and grandchildren as well. So take drugs serious. Thank you, Mr. Padmore.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And to James out there, thank you. To our listeners, thank you so much. We have exhausted all of the time. Please join us next week, Saturday, at 2 p.m. Liberian time, and we'll bring you another fiery show. James, thank you so much. And to our panelists, thank you guys. We appreciate you.
Mike, don't forget to plug in the show for tomorrow now.
Oh, yes. Okay. Very quickly. I'm running out of time here. Very quickly. But yes. So, and tomorrow, of course, On Point comes to you. Focus on Liberia. We're totally online at that time. But we come to you through Facebook and YouTube. Focus on Liberia, On Point to be on we come on every Sunday, 4 p.m. Eastern, and that is 9 p.m. Liberian, 8 p.m. Liberian time. Thank you guys, and we'll go out with this.
We are Liberia. Liberia is our home. Liberia people. Liberia.